A very good morning to everybody listening to 32 FM 94.9, the station where we fill the world with laughter. Thank you very much for joining us today, the 17th day in the month of August 2021. It's the Breakdown newspaper review where we review headlines from the dailies we analyze and we open the phone lines later on so you can be a part of the conversation. Good morning to you once again. My name is Bimisola Shoyemi.
All right, good morning. My name is Chike Obogu. It's good to be back here this morning.
Good morning to you, dear listener. I am Olutayo Gwadi. Welcome to your morning tonic. All right, we go straight to the papers. I have Daily Trust newspaper and the Guardian newspaper.
I have the Punch newspaper here and the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, and I have me Vanguard and Independent newspaper.
All right, starting from the Punch newspaper this morning. Buhari signing off the PIB. Petrol may sell for 300 naira. Federal government to decide on subsidy. Others today. Still from the Punch newspaper. U.S. gives condition for recognizing Taliban government in Afghanistan. Hush Puppy. Probe panel submits amended report on Abba Kyari. On foreign scene on the Punch newspaper here, Zambian opposition leaders' victory good for Africa's democracy, says Secondus. Casualization, Ishekiri Group vows to shut down Chevron's operations. And Super TV CEO family accuses Lagos police of cover-up, hires Ozekome. And Plateau killings. Northern Group warns federal government, 13 more suspects arrested as Buni Bagudu Abubakar meets Bankole in Abeokuta. The merry-go-round continues.
All right, Dr. Headlines from Vanguard newspaper. Boko Haram surrender depletes ISWAP strength, sows fear, Nigerian army. That message is coming from the Nigerian army. Nasarawa government to begin demolition of illegal structures. That's coming from an official. Police rescue abducted APC chairman in Niger State. Ondo Youth creates over 2,000 jobs with, And I'll take this one. Wife accuses estranged husband of alleged kidnap of their 6-year-old daughter for rituals. And also this morning, Mushin boils as miscreants go on rampage. You've always been our advocate, APC youth tell Oshibajo. Cholera, Nigeria records 37,819 cases, 1,178 deaths from 23 states and the Federal Capital Territory. APC debunks PDP's accusation that it plans to rig 2023 elections. Women participation in politics low despite Nigeria's gender policy, NIPSS. And let's see this one from Bajabiamila. On PIB, investments, transparency will now flourish in our oil and gas industry. And 2023, without Buhari on ballot, we may not get all the votes. That's credited to Vice President Oshibajo. On COVID-19 vaccination, National Assembly begs residents or resident doctors to return to work. And those are headlines from Vanguard newspaper.
Let's see some more from Premium Times. COVID-19, Nigeria to receive more Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine Monday. Flags of second phase of vaccination. Zambian opposition candidate Akinde Achilema wins presidential election after sixth trial. Buhari signs PIB, ignores concerns over 30% host communities fund. Constitution review, lawmakers move to replace FCT minister with a mayor. Again, bandits abduct students in Zamfara school, kill 4 security officials. Saudi Arabia urges Taliban to protect lives under Islamic principles. Will rescue abducted Zamfara school students. Teachers Matawale. Customs blames NNPC for increasing rate of fuel smuggling across Nigeria's borders. Alright, still from Premium Times, Nigeria's 4th place response ranking, not ours, WHO country rep. That's on COVID-19. Still on COVID-19, after death of 3 professors, UI opts for virtual lectures. US defeat in Afghanistan offers chance for lasting peace. Iranian president. NGF condemns Plateau killings, calls for calm. Afghanistan, U.S. Security Council holds emergency meeting. That'll be all from Premium Times.
All right, from the Nation newspaper this morning, bids open for Lagos, Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt airports. COVID-19 vaccination resumes with Moderna. Buhari to exit self. Buhari to exit self-isolation tomorrow. Beg your pardon. Concession process unrealistic, say airports unions. As governments to protect workers' interest. Fuel subsidy remains for now, says Silva. Governor, Southeast must resist IPOB to save economy. These are some stories from the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, I'll take a few from Independent newspaper now. Federal government aircraft ground handlers lose 14.2 billion naira yearly to improper rates. Buhari gets knocks. Kudos for signing PIB into law. On 2023, PDP has conceded defeat before election. That's from the APC. Treat Nigerians equally. Nwanyawu tells Buhari. This one also says Nnamdi Kano's family meets him at DSS detention facility after nearly 2 months. Those are headlines from Independent newspaper.
And a quick one from The Guardian. PIB ascent, mixed reactions. That's what you have from The Guardian. Fresh challenges trail legislation. One more, federal government opens bid for airport concession, pegs worth of bidders at 30 billion naira. Abiodun receives prominent Nigerians over her father's death. Just crisis rages as governor restates imposition of curfews. PEBEC is working to address SME multiple taxation issue, says Oshibajo. Doctor strike continues as court adjourns case till the 15th of September. Or your government gives 5 million mosquito nets to residents. IPOP suspended sit at home still grounds businesses in Southeast. Still from The Guardian, Anambra PDP unveils Advisory Council Elders Forum campaign committee for Zibo. Dokpasi denies interest in PDP chairmanship seat. Let's look at the business side of The Guardian. Again, SEC warns against patronage of Ponzi schemes. Economic outlook getting better. Adedipe others claim. Federal government targets improved food production with Seed Protection Act. DRE rewards Olympic silver medalist. US-based junior athletes arrival lights up Team Nigeria's camp. It's 10 minutes past 10. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Kọ́tì délẹ̀ yìí egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
Ojú rẹ̀ ṣàǹjọ̀lọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
Já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ. Inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. Amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé. NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù MA1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneto cleanser jáde. A wà ní nọ́mbà 17 Ọba Akínyẹlé off Adeokun Street Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà. Ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneton cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
láti gòkè àgùnlà láyé èèyàn nílò ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹni tó mọ̀nà débi àṣeyọrí. FMH International HR àwọn ni gbajúgbajà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alárinà tó mọ ojúlẹ̀jà bá ti ń tọ́ni sọ́nà finimọ̀nà nípa bí gbogbo òǹwáṣẹ́ ṣe lè pàdé àwọn òǹgbanisíṣẹ́ pàápàá jùlọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó wà lókè òkun.
FMH International HR alábàáṣepọ̀ gidi ni wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àjọ oníwádìí ìjìnlẹ̀ àgbáyé tá a mọ̀ sí United Nations Volunteer Research Group láti jùmọ̀ tọpinpin wàhálà táwọn ọmọlẹ̀ yìí ń kojú nídìí ìgbìyànjú ajé lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. ìyẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ mọ́ international migration àti international labour activities.
ǹjẹ́ o tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé o nílò ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ dáadáa nípa ìlànà à ń tẹ̀lé láwọn pápákọ̀ òfurufú tó fẹ́ gbà sọdá sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí United Nations Volunteer Research Group pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ FMH International HR ń ṣe research lórí ẹ̀dùn ọkàn àti ìpèníjà tẹ́ ẹ bá ní. questionnaires táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ FMH bá fún yín lágbègbè yín lẹ́ ó ṣàlàyé ìrírí yín sí.
fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ kàn sí wọn ní 3rd and 9th floor Cocoa House Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn.
telephone 0817 4444 627
àti 08168737222.
Yeah, you're dolly me, oh.
I'm just not feeling the flow right now. It's like there's no ginger.
Okay, let's take a break. Here, have a Coke.
Gege, that's the ginger right there.
Give me one Coke.
Yes, so make you ginger.
Ginger, your flow with Coca-Cola. DSTV has your perfect TV match. If you know your flambe from your saute, we're serving up some.
Yummy.
If high-octane dockies are more your speed, get in the driver's seat. Are you all about that drama? We'll bring it from the courtroom to the emergency room for a serious series dose. Because with a fresh new lineup of the best TV, no matter what you're into, DSTV has your perfect TV match. So get connected and stay connected to DSTV. This is your TV moment.
bọ́nà kan ò ṣe wọjà nígbà aṣẹ́ kan ò ṣe tó jẹ mọ́ lásìkò tá a wà yìí láti wá tètè gúnlẹ̀ sébùtì ògo láfiníkà fọwọ́ wà fàjẹwà pẹ̀lú multilevel marketing cooperative investment credit society limited ẹgbẹ́ alájẹsẹ́kù tí bá ní ìpìlẹ̀ ọ̀la ká lè bá tètè roko délé ajé lójú ọjọ́ pẹ̀lú kátàkárà lórí àwọn kò ṣeé má ní ojoojúmọ́ bíi herbal food supplement àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ a jẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹni tó bá darapọ̀ mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ alájẹsẹ́kù multilevel marketing ni ó jàǹfààní ètò ẹ̀yáwó ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan láti dáṣẹ́ tara wọn lẹ̀ bákan náà ni gbogbo ẹni tó bá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa pẹ̀lú owó wọn ni ó máa gba èrè gọbọi lóṣooṣù èyí kì í ṣe sógun dogójì o fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ kàn sí multilevel marketing cooperative investment credit society limited lónìí ní health concern building lẹ́bàá MRS filling station nítòsí bishop phillips academy Iwo Road Ìbàdàn tàbí lọ́fíìsì wa tó wà ní stanbic bank building niger west area challenge Ìbàdàn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 090504816 090504816 pẹ̀lú multilevel marketing cooperative investment credit society limited wàá roko délé ajé.
32 FM
94.9.
FM 94.9, 6:15 from our studio. Chike said the other time I said 10 minutes past 10. It was 10 minutes past 6 the other time. It's now 6:15 from our studio. 32 FM 94.9, Break It On newspaper review. We are your Fenye station. My name is Olutayo Ogunade.
And my name is Bemisola Shuyemi.
And I'm yours truly, Chike Ubogo.
Austin Udomo joins us on the program. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Tayo.
Right.
Good morning, Bemi and Chike. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, let's fly.
All right, let's get this story going from the Nation newspaper. Buhari, Atiku, Lawan, governors, others hail IBB at 80. As Buni, Bagudu, Abubakar, and Mosun, others visit Abiodun over father's death. NYSC to call members, seek military help if you travel after 6 p.m. And here, I have no ambition to be PDP national chairman. This is coming from Raymond Dokbesi.
All right, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. PIB ascends mixed feelings. Fresh challenges trail legislation. After 5 decades of operating an obsolete Petroleum Act, President Buhari yesterday signed into law the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, not minding the controversial sections and criticisms that trailed the bill, working from home in compliance to the 5 days of quarantine as required by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID after his return from London last Friday. The president assented to the bill, while the ceremonial part of the new legislation will be done tomorrow, Wednesday, after the days of mandatory isolation would have been fulfilled. Let's look at, the implication of Mr. President signing the PIB into law. Austin.
Yes, there are far-reaching economic implications as far as the PIB is concerned. It has spent over a decade on the floor of the National Assembly. Now, this implies that the oil sector has been liberalized to a large extent. It's coming at a time where we need critical investor in terms of the energy sector in the country. Now this is coming, and it's a welcome development. Of course, there are controversies, especially from the oil-rich Niger Delta region, because this was not actually supposed to be the PIB that we expected. This was a version that the people in government deemed fit for the people. But when you look at the original intention of the petroleum industry bill, even as an executive bill, it was 5% for host community. Now that has been reduced to just 3%, while we have outrageous allocation in terms of NPC profit going to sharing basic frontier basin, and a lot of people have come out to criticize that. But the president is defiant to however people fail to sign this particular bill into law. Of course, people feel that the president has no business than to ordinarily sign. That is not simply correct, because we have also seen some bills in the past that does not sit well with the president, and he has to return them back to the National Assembly. Electoral Amendment Bill is one of those of such bill. So for me, I think the president is just comfortable and convinced with it, irrespective of what people say. Maybe perhaps people, a section of the country benefited more than what it ought to be. Because when we talk about the 3% to host community, is the operating expenditure that will form the basis of that. Why the 30% for frontier basin exploration is from NPC profit. So that is the difference. People really don't understand the way it works and some of the various provisions. But I think what we should look at majorly is that the PI bill has been signed. Let us look at how the host community fund properly will be implemented. Of course, there is still protest, especially in the Niger Delta. Yeah. Let's see how they will press home their demand. But now that the president has signed, I simply think little can be done as far as accommodating other sections and other interests as far as the PIB is concerned. So this has also signified the unbundling of the oil sector, which means that market forces will have to determine key operations within the oil sector. If you look at another leading report this morning, there is speculation that this could trigger the pump price, the increase in pump price of PMS, where the government had to take
as high as 300 naira.
Yes, the government had to take decision as far as that is concerned. I think major thing is to build confidence in the sector so that investors will come in, because the purpose of liberalization primarily is to ensure that there is competition within the system, and if there is competition, an investor, they are guaranteed return on investment, and the economy outlook is very positive for them. They will invest, and at the long run, the masses will benefit from this. So let's look at what will happen in the days ahead. But like I said earlier, the beauty and the joy of it is that it has been signed. However, this is not the version Nigerians expected.
Okay, you can join us live on YouTube and on Facebook to those listening, and you might want to see what's going on. 32FM 949 Ibadan, 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook and on YouTube. You can also drop your contributions for us to read later on, or if you have questions for the analysts, you can also drop them there. Now, Austin, when this news broke yesterday about the PIB, the president signing the PIB into law, one of us raised a question, and the question was, did Mr. President just sign the bill, or is there a possibility that he reviewed the bill before signing?
Well, there are some people who will have done that on his behalf, except on the rare occasion that the president will have to go through the volumes of the sections and clause by clause in the PIB. We are only looking at it that PIB has been passed by the National Assembly. If you look at the whole thing, it's not something just like a piece of paper. You understand? There are clauses, there are sections, there are provisions. So whether the president has taken time to study this before he traveled out of the country, I wouldn't know. But I think there are people who are vested with that responsibility, who work with Mr. President, who will look at detailed clauses, and if there are no booby trap for the president and he feels satisfied with it, he will have to just sign them. So that the president personally had to go through the bill, I wouldn't know. Maybe on the face value, because after the clauses have been done, there will be a lead page that summary will be summary will be done. So if on that surface the president look at it and say, "Oh, this has been done," but I'm very convinced that people work with Mr. President must have reviewed this before assent.
Are there plans to placate the people of the South? Of course, because they spoke up and they said, Mr. President, review the content of the PIB before signing it into law, or do not even sign it at all until you do a proper check with the content. And now that it's been signed into law, there's little or nothing they can do. But is there also ways to placate them or to at least make them know that their voices matter also?
Yes, I think the president had to do that as a matter of political exigency, because we need to do that as a matter of urgency too. It is not always right for you, especially as a government, to tell the people to go away or go to blazes, especially with their agitations. The voice of the people should count. We expected that the president will have allowed some other discussion in terms of conciliation, calling stakeholders, critical stakeholders as far as this is concerned, and at the end of the day, we get a middle course to be able to ensure that assent is done to this particular bill. All that the president need to do is just simply to return it back to the National Assembly. Perhaps if we cannot get the 10% that we started with, we should be able to get 5%. After us, the House of Representatives had earlier proposed 5% before the Senate passed 3%, and they set up harmonization committee, and the harmonization committee had to align with the Senate on 3%. So the president should take some political steps to placate the people of the Niger Delta, because whether we like it or not, this can disrupt exploration and activity within the Niger Delta, because this belongs to them in terms of natural resources. You can't just say you don't know what it means. Where we have already discovered crude, we are allocating 3% to host community, where we don't even expect that we can get crude at all. Even if we get, where we can't even guarantee that we can get in commercial and economic quantity. We are allocating
40%.
NNPC profit 30%. Profit. There's a difference between operating expenditure and profit. So these are the clauses. I do not think it is right. It is the vice president and those in government. They will tell you that we must be united at all costs, that our diversity matters to us. But what I think the government is pursuing is that the government is pursuing unity without fairness. And they are pursuing
equity in this distribution?
There's no equity. That's the truth of the matter. Because some people feel shortchanged. The truth of the matter is that the way the president signed the bill, it seems to favor some section of the country above others, where these resources are even resident and domicile and are even tapped. That is the issue. Because when we talk about frontier bases, except we want to deceive ourselves, they are more in the northern part of the country. That's the truth. So where the world is even migrating to other cleaner source of energy, we are still dwelling on crude. And at the end of the day, look at what we have done. So the president, in my view, should have done something. But now that he has signed, let him look at other measures and next other avenue wherein he could actually placate the critical stakeholder, especially from the Niger Delta region.
Do we see any reaction, or should we be looking forward to any reaction from the Niger Delta?
There are reactions already. Pandef has reacted.
Yes,
some
in
other
terms of...
Yeah.
I don't want to say protest, because that's pretty much how we know
they
how
only
to...
said, the president
they only came out with a statement.
Signing the PIB into law, shows a disdain for the Niger Deltans. That's what they said. We don't expect them to go back to the creeks and all that. Well, of course, we can only look at it, but
just let the government look at other options to actually placate
but to
them.
remove subsidy or to retain subsidy, who does it pay at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, when you remove subsidy on the face value, it pays the government because it means more revenue for the government. At that time, at the short run, it does not pay the people. But if the federal government sincerely and transparently unbundle the sector in terms of allowing investors, critical investors with technical know-how to come in, and there is competition, it will now favor the masses at the long run. But the major issue and the only way by which it can favor the masses is when we have the capacity to refine locally. The capacity to refine locally ordinarily will eliminate what is referred to as a landing cost. Landing cost is the major problem as far as the oil sector is concerned. Without landing cost, there can't be subsidy. That's the truth of the matter. So let the federal government look at all the associated issues. They are promised, and I think they are still standing by their word, that they have issue negotiation with the Labour Congress. Let them resolve that. In as much as we are doing that, the federal government too is not also sleeping, in fairness to them. They are looking at the possibility of this refinery working at some capacity so that we can develop local refining capacity. So whatever we have to do, let us do it. Let us not allow the people to suffer, because we have at the end of the day signed the PIB.
All right.
Now, before we leave this PIB,
I think we've dealt so much on PIB.
There's this question I want to ask Austin. The bill has been signed.
Yes.
Don't you think it's high time we start questioning the economic team of this government?
Yes, the economic team is more or less dormant. They are really not effective as far as the administration is concerned. You know, the first time of President Muhammadu Buhari, it was the vice president that helps the that headed the economic management team. Now, Professor Doyin Salami, we said at that time, you can bring all of this bright mind, all of this best brain together, but it depends on the fiscal policy of the government. That is why I laugh when people refer to Emefiele as the worst CBN governor. Incidentally, by assessment and by statistics, Emefiele is one of the best CBN governors that we have produced, because in terms of monetary policies, which is within his purview, he has delivered on that substantially. That is the truth. If you know how economic work, that is the way it is. But the fiscal aspect of it, the fiscal policy, belongs to the executive arm of government, and until there is conscious alignment between the fiscal handshake, thank you, between the fiscal and the monetary policy, people will not feel the impact. That is the truth of the matter. You understand?
What I know here is that buying fuel for 300 naira per liter, we are already stretched thin.
No. That is unsustainable for Nigerians. That's the truth, and I don't think the federal government will implement that in a hurry. They must agree with the conditions of the Nigerian Labour Congress. But the truth is that PIB has been signed. Let this not be like a trap for the people of the country. We long for it. Now it has come. Let it not adversely affect the people.
All right, let's quickly move away from PIB and talk about the massacre. There was a massacre in just over the weekend, and this is in Daily Post, and it says Bauchi State Governor Senator Bala Mohammed on Monday condemned in strong terms last Saturday's attack by Irigwe militia in Jos Plateau State on innocent travelers who were returning home after attending the annual Zikri in Bauchi, marking the commencement of the new Islamic year, Hijrah 1443. 25 people died. It was a very sad incident, and we just keep hearing people saying it's bad, it's terrible, the usuals.
Yes.
When things like this happen.
What have we put
What have we done?
Yes, especially in just local government is fast becoming a volatile area. What has the government done? I understand that there are issues, especially with the locals. So the government must deal with it appropriately because it's a delicate situation. I think the wanton destruction of lives especially is unacceptable. So whatever the government had to do, the state and the federal government, because if you look at what this has created, it has created a lot of tension. You know, I read again that the IGP has deployed more forces, even the CTU, to that particular axis of the country. It is avoidable. So what are we doing? This suggests and point to the fact that areas in the countries are not safe. So let the federal government take more action in terms of securing lives and property. These were just travelers. They didn't commit any offense. They were not supposed to die. They were murdered in cold blood. So how do we check this? So whatever act of terrorism, my point is that there are a lot of illegal activity as a result of illegal possession of firearm that is going on across the country that we simply refer to as unknown gunmen and bandits. These are acts of terrorism, violent act, coordinated act against the people. So let the federal government deal with the situation the way it is. Of course, the government has appealed that there should not be reprisal attack, but let us get beyond the level of telling people not to go on reprisal to doing justice.
Yes, that particular killing was carried out mostly with clubs and stones and, not even guns, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
You can see that these people were also wailing their dead or mourning their dead when these guys, they ran into these guys and that happened. And so, going to what you said, that we should look at the fundamental problems rather than just, trying to fix the consequences of, actions and inactions of our people based on certain biases and sentiments.
I think the issue of sentiment and bias is major issue that the government had to address. Let's look at the fundamental issue. When there are issues like that, and if it become pertinent, let federal government ensure that justice is done. Because if justice is served, of course, it can't bring back the dead, but at least it will send message that you can't just do things and get away with it. And that will also, if people are punished or sanctioned, that will also serve as a deterrent for people. The rate at which people die in Nigeria is just too alarming. So let the federal government check some of these excesses. And the best way to do that is to come out very clean and also ensure that whosoever that are caught are brought to justice. The government over there has imposed curfew. Curfew is good, but at the end of the day, you must ensure that this does not continue.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, it's still the paper review on 32 FM 94.9. Don't forget to join us on YouTube and Facebook. The handle is at 32FM 949 Ibadan.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000.
Hey! I beg, where on they see this money?
Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus where they sama me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, what's up for me now?
You know say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Yeah, you're dolly me, oh.
I'm just not feeling the flow right now. It's like there's no ginger.
Okay, let's take a break. Here, have a Coke.
Gege, that's the ginger right there.
Give me one Coke.
Yes, so make you ginger.
Ginger your flow with Coca-Cola.
Give me one Coke.
DSTV has your perfect TV match. If you know your flambe from your saute, we're serving up some.
Yummy.
If high-octane dockies are more your speed, get in the driver's seat. Are you all about that drama? We'll bring it from the courtroom to the emergency room for a serious series dose. Because with a fresh new lineup of the best TV, no matter what you're into, DSTV has your perfect TV match. So get connected and stay connected to DSTV. This is your TV moment.
Babe, that girl must be using something.
Hey, Berry, what kind of something?
You to see how she's always smiling, displaying her 32.
You're cuckoo right. I know her secrets. I know what she's using. She uses it twice a day.
Tell me her secrets.
I'll give you a hint. ABZ.
ABZ?
Yes, ABZ is the secret. Close-Up contains antibacterial zinc, ABZ, which gives you 3 times more freshness and 3 times more protection. Better than your regular toothpaste. Now you know the ABZ secret.
The new Close-Up is her secret. Everybody must hear.
You can't keep a secret.
New Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Triple the freshness, triple the protection.
ẹ ti dúró pẹ́ láti darapọ̀ mọ́ MTN. àmọ́ báyìí ilẹ̀kùn ti wà ní ṣíṣí sílẹ̀ gbalasa láti darapọ̀ mọ́ MTN. ẹbí yẹ̀lò tó débikíbi pẹ̀lú ètò dátà tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ jù ní Nàìjíríà. ṣáà ti wọ èyíkéyìí nínú àwọn ibùsọ̀ MTN tá a yàn jákèjádò. ra SIM MTN tuntun kó o sì jẹun sókè pẹ̀lú owó ìpè àgbọ́játọ́ àti àfikún dátà ní ìgbàkúùgbà tó o bá ra dátà lórí ìpè yẹ̀lò. torí náà yára ṣẹ̀ṣà kó o lọ gba SIM tiẹ̀ lónìí. lọ sí mtnonline.com/sim láti mọ ìsọ̀ tó súnmọ́ jù tó ń ta SIM wa.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey e dey use comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pains wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection take brush every day, the confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate. Because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
And the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
32 FM
94.9.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Break It On newspaper review reaching live from our studio, 32 FM 94.9. Prince Sikiru Giwa on Facebook. Good morning. How can a nation come together as one when a section of the country is favored or given the lead in all ramifications? Restructuring is the only thing that can put a stop to all these abnormalities. We go to your comment on Facebook. You can also go drop your comment on our Facebook page or handle 32FM949 Ibadan, and also on YouTube. Chike.
All right, from the Punch newspaper, this story here: U.S. gives conditions for recognizing Taliban government in Afghanistan. And the story says the United States has given conditions for recognizing the Taliban government in Afghanistan. U.S. Department spokesman Ned Price said on Monday that the U.S. would only recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan if it respects the rights of women and denounces extremist movements such as Al Qaeda. Ultimately, he says, ultimately, when it comes to our posture towards any future government in Afghanistan, it will depend upon the actions of the government. It will depend upon the actions of the Taliban, State Price told reporters when asked about recognition. Well, the headline says, U.S. gives conditions for recognizing Taliban government in Afghanistan. Austin, the conditions are well stated here. It says the Taliban should respect rights of women and denounce extremist movements such as Al Qaeda. It's not enough condition for the U.S. to recognize the Taliban government.
Of course, to start with, we could say there are enough conditions, but I doubt if the Taliban, at the end of the day, after successfully establishing their government, they will be able to accede to that particular demand, especially protection of rights, and to also not align with extremists at the end of the day. That could be very difficult for them to do, because if you look at the Taliban very well, they belong to the Islamic Emirates within Afghanistan. So they are actually waging war even within the country, and they have the capacity. The U.S. also contributed to a large extent to what had just happened after a decade stay of military operation in that particular country. The new president had to withdraw troops, and that also weakened the structure of the Afghan government, and that gave rise to the Taliban to actually strike. So for me, I think Africa should also look at what we can gain from that particular area, because some of these military hardware and equipment, they are being taken over by these guys, and this is what they use to wage war against the country and overthrow almost the government. The president is on the run as we speak now. So which shows that if care is not taken, what has just happened could also be replicated any other part of the world. So I think let's bring it back home. Nigeria must be very careful. We must address the issue of right protection. We must address the issue of justice and equity, because these people you look at as not state actors, look at what has happened.
But I was saying, what was the interest of the U.S. Ab initio, looking at promises from several U.S. leaders in the past, from George W. Bush to Obama to Trump, saying Taliban will come to an end, and now this is happening. They've taken over the reins of power in that particular place, and people are really, really apprehensive. Yes, you're saying it could likely happen here, but so what was the interest of the U.S. there, knowing full well that it was going to end in this manner?
Yes, the U.S. may never actually envisage that it could end this way, but there is a clear-cut agenda when it comes to governance between the Republican and the Democrat. If you also look at the sustained battle, at the end of the day, Obama also tried a lot to withdraw troops gradually. Of course, he did gradual troop withdrawal at that particular point in time, if you could recall. And this is another Democratic administration in the United States who did not even see anything more valuable again to protect, because according to the President of the United States of America, he said it cost the country over $1 trillion to actually maintain and ensure that this type of thing does not happen. Now look at the few times they had to withdraw their interest. Look at what has happened. But like you have said, it looks as if all their investment in terms of ensuring that there is protection of right and what have you has now fallen flat, because it has proven to be counterproductive. Because if you know that at the end of the day we are going to achieve this, why did you invest so much? But it depends on the interest of the American government, between one government and the other. Because Donald Trump actually sustained this for a period of time, and you can see what has just transpired now. Now a lot of countries are giving conditions to recognize the Taliban government.
Let me quote
in
the
that
Iranian president here. Ibrahim Raisi says the defeat of the United States in neighboring Afghanistan offers an opportunity to restore life, security, and lasting peace in the country.
That is what I feel too. There are forces even against the U.S. So this is like overrunning the U.S. and the Afghanistan major government to be able to ensure that this is created. So the Iranian government is looking at, it's just like clapping for what has just happened in Afghanistan by the taking over by Taliban. That's just the
what of rights of women and things like this already been trampled upon?
That is
almost immediately.
Almost immediately. That is why I said the conditions given by the U.S. may not be followed by the Taliban because they can't dictate to them again. That's not the truth of the matter, because they fought to this level and they feel now that they have overpowered them. So victory is there. So they've taken over government. They have to dictate the pace of government what they want.
So are we saying if the system works best for them, we should allow them be?
Well, if that is what it's looking like. If the system is almost working best for them, so let's see how it goes at the end of the day, because that's the truth. The U.S. that could have checked is on the other side. Rather than coming on board to take decisive action in terms of military operation, they are saying that, oh, we have given you conditions and you must abide by this condition. And I told you at the initial when I started that they are most likely not going to abide by this condition, because almost immediately they started inflicting pain and the people's rights are being violated at will. So how can you command? How can you just give a command and say this is how it will work? So it was an unfortunate scenario, and it's also a clarion call. Like I said earlier, let us bring it back home. It's a clarion call for those of us in Africa. It's also a clarion call for the Nigerian government. Whatever we have to do, let us ensure that justice prevails. Let us ensure that we protect and allow human rights to be sustained.
I've seen people comment on what is going on in Afghanistan, and they go ahead to talk about religion, how religion has done more harm than good to some countries or to some regions. Now, how do we translate? Because I see people saying, oh, African countries should learn from this. So how do we see this translate to the way we treat or the way we handle religion in Africa?
Yes, one of the major problems we have is religious sentiments. Apart from ethnic and tribal sentiment, another major thing is religion. Because when you talk about religion, it has the capacity of causing major crises, especially in a state like Nigeria. That is why any government must ensure that we bridge the gap and constantly remind the people through policies and program of government that Nigeria is not a religious state, that Nigeria is still a secular state. So the government must demonstrate this, and they must also lead by example, because we can't allow religious crisis to break out in the country. So whatever the cases are, let the federal government look at how to manage it. Religion most especially, because it has the capacity to divide us and cause something like this that has just happened in Afghanistan.
Malaysian PM Muhyiddin resigns as political crisis escalates. We'll go on a commercial break now. When we return, the calls.
Celebrate something big with Showmax this football season. Pay for 1 month of Showmax Pro or Showmax Pro Mobile and get a second month on us to watch mind-blowing football in action from the world's best leagues. That's every breathtaking tackle, save, goal, and more from the EPL, La Liga, Serie A, and DStv Premiership. Live from Supersport at 50% off. Sign up at showmax.com and get more for less.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning, getting set for another day. Another chance to change my story. I believe in my hustle. I know be lazy person, but life is just they knock me boost. If it don't close, I go find another. If I fall down, I go try to recover. If it never walk me, I know they bother. Cause I believe say I go surely prosper. It don't get that shit won't be. We move. No matter what they say, we move.
Whatever life brings, we move. Turn up your dreams. MTN, everywhere you go.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No, dear. Na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pains wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth, wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate. Because Colgate locks calcium in.
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
On a cool day, what do you want to do?
Make you spice up your life.
As in, collect see as it hot. And chilled Sprite to take cool body.
Give your favorite pepper meal that extra vibe with a chilled bottle of Sprite, now in a new bottle. Enjoy the refreshing lemon lime taste of Sprite no matter the heat.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Breaking on newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9. Good morning, the newspaper review crew. The analyst should know that operating expenses of any organization is usually higher than net profit. So, by implication, 30% of total operating expenses will always be higher than 30% of NNPC share profit. This has always been with businesses, most especially in oil exploration business. Shola Doye, Olawale Musa, thank you. We got your message. Good morning. Please, we need to tell our governor to step up his game, most especially in the area of security. We have a lot of ammunition in the wrong hands in Ibadan. Moreover, people seem not to take the issue of COVID-19 serious in this state anymore. Kindly remind them COVID-19 is still very much in town and the government should put in place necessary measure. Aliu Oriyomi, we got your message.
All right, you can call us to drop your comments 0705 5949 0809 7009.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. My name is Adeshu Yomolola from UI. I want to comment on the bill that was signed by the president. And sometimes when Augustine analyze, I always smile because Augustine knows a lot. I understand that he knows these things. How will you be saying that the president will not sign the 3%? Like when he was saying it that time, I was just laughing. Because the thing was organized by the president himself. And unfortunately, my worry is that some people that because of them, we voted for this government, that they are in power now because of their position. They are not saying anything. And they are there just retaining their position and saying all sorts of things because this president is developing his region against this southern. I'm afraid, Augustine, some people will leave this government out of this in this house. We will be stoning them. That's the best of today.
Well, don't stone anybody, but let's talk. The statement created to Wanyawu that President Buhari should treat Nigerians equally is a good advice. This is one of the major area that makes some group agitating for secession. PMB should please see himself as a father to every Nigerian, not one particular ethnic group. Omobasharu Abiola. Hello, good morning. Hello. 009-7000-949 0807055-5949. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Comrade Omololu from Agbo. Good morning, Tayo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Tayo, please, just spare me. Yesterday, I stumbled on the very editorial headline on the Tribune about government and critics of the President Buhari and governors. How the courts in Nigeria fail. How the courts seem to be complicit, given their failure to separate between verbal assault and physical assault.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Mr. Austin. I think I like your submission this morning. I want to say something briefly. This is Dr. Mark. I want to say something briefly about the petroleum industry deal and the unfairness that I see there. You want to give host communities 3%, and those areas where you want to pipeline passed, or you want to like the Bida Basin, Shokoto Basin, and the rest, you want to give them 30%. Austin, I want to ask you, do you see fairness in that one? Because this thing will keep creating what we call more division and more problem. I keep saying it, that the way to go in this country is to resort to resource control. When this administration came into power, they spent billions trying to look for oil in the Lake Chad Basin and all that. And look at all that money went down the drain. And till now, nothing came out of it.
Okay. Please try reach us on 0705 5949.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bolaji from Akobo. Please, I thank you, Osino Dumo, for distinguishing between 3% and that 30%. The question are this. Is the 3% on the total production of oil going to that community, or 3% of profit generated by NNPC? 2, what of the 30% derivation? Has the bill cancelled that 30% derivation to the oil producing area? What of the NNPC, NCDC, where trillions are being spent on those oil producing area on yearly basis? Has the bill cancelled all those ones? Good morning, thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. I like the quality of callers on this platform. Austin, can we get your reaction to that?
Yes, to simply say that operating expenses could be more than the net profit betrays economic logic. That's just the truth of the matter. And if you also look at it, we are looking at operating expenditure in terms of oil exploration. I don't know whether you get that again. In terms of oil exploration, which means that the IOC within the Niger Delta will have to spend 3% of their operating expenditure to develop the host community. I don't know whether you are getting it. IOC will spend 3% of their operating expenditure, not NNPC operating expenditure. It is NNPC 30% profit that goes into sharing basis.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We can hear you.
Good morning.
Yeah, Alaji Asala from Coca-Cola.
Right.
Yeah, you see, I want to comment on the issue of Taliban. And forget about, let's leave the issue of rights, presenting the rights of women or whatever aside. But as an issue, the U.S. government, they only go into, hello?
We are with you.
Yeah, they only went to Afghanistan. They support the Taliban and not the rebels when they are about to dismantle USSR. And by so doing, when they have achieved their aim in dismantling USSR, they let all these light weapons in the hands of those rebels, and the internal squabble begins. And I was fortunate to see an interview gathered by Hillary Clinton. Somebody sent it to my WhatsApp, and he agreed that it was the U.S. that bring about all these problems we are facing in the world.
Okay, let's see some more comments on Facebook. Adekunle Perez Sheon, whether the withdrawal was gradual or not, it was the right time to leave. The only way for the Taliban not to return to power was for the U.S. to stay in Afghanistan indefinitely, which is impracticable. It's not a Biden or Democrat thing. Every POTUS from 21 years ago should take the blame, including Obama and Trump, who signaled the process of withdrawal. Afghanistan has been a notoriously difficult country to govern. Nation after nation have failed to pacify what is today the modern territory of Afghanistan, given the region the nickname graveyard empires. All of these were expected.
So Biden shouldn't be the fall guy It's actually
Could
it's
be
looking like the man with the
all of
balls
them.
who was able to
Yes, who was
achieve
able
what
to
the other
pull
guys
it.
couldn't do.
If not for what had just happened, that could be traced to the withdrawal. Well, because of loss of life too, loss of truth, loss of resources. Let's see how it goes. It has been done.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
My name is Kalawale Kazim. I just want to talk about the group that are calling, those who are calling the president to be shared with other groups. I think this kind of calls are the reason why we have this problem. Where do you have any evidence that the president has been biased to any? There is no any evidence of that. We have around 500 kilometers of road that have been constructed in the Yoruba land.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
This is Olede calling from you.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I want to ask you analysis. At the frontier basin only in the north, are you not in Anambra, Ogun, and Kogi, Bida, and Kwara?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard. He was asking whether frontier bases are they only in the north. They are more in the north. That's the truth. They are more in the north. They are more in the north. That's the truth.
One more call before we go. Hello, good
Hello,
morning.
good morning.
Yes, sir.
This is Adoni.
Adoni's 30 minutes. Oh, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I want to comment on the PIB.
All right.
After President Buhari has signed it into law, we should know that another government will come. Whatever errors President Buhari administration has committed will be repealed by way of protest or forwarding a correction bill to the National House of Assembly that will succeed this present one.
All right. we just have to go. But before we go, the Nigerian military Maradona celebrated his 80th birthday 2 days ago. Yeah, that's Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. And he still sounds so sharp and articulate at 80.
Yes.
I watched him yesterday.
We wish him all the best. He has done his bit, but his excuse for
You may
the
call
annulment.
him Baba no regret. He
Yes,
has no regrets.
his
still.
excuse for the annulment of June 12th is not tenable.
We have to go.
He set us back as a country. That's the truth of the matter.
All right.
All right. My name is Chike Obogu. Thanks for joining us this morning. Tomorrow is another day.
All right. And my name is Bemisola Shuyemi. Thank you very much, Austin.
Good morning, dear listener. I am Olutayo Ogunade.
Ìkànnì Adẹ́rìn-Pòṣónú.
32 FM. The Pioneer Joy Station.
32 FM.
The station admired by other radio stations.